What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about auction again. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. I want to keep the updates with this thing a little bit relative because it is doing some stuff that's relatively exciting, right? You had a very tenacious move, man, all the way up. Let's see. I mean, how much was this overall from a low to a high? Low here, February 3rd to the high now on the 26th. That was a 157% move, man. We've been following you along this whole time, and I definitely did expect a more serious rejection here, but you didn't. You just kept up. Tenacious is the right word for this move overall. From a high to a low, what you've done is you've gone up just above your golden ratio, and you fell just shy of your 786. Oftentimes with this, what you see is you actually do hit the 786, but I don't actually think you're going to get there. I would think from here you do pull back to your 0.5, which is at about $13.5. You could pull all the way back down to $11. It's possible. I don't think you go any lower than 1164 or like just below there, if anything, right? I don't think you go too much lower. You are pretty overbought on your daily RSI, right? If we look at the daily RSI right now, you're at about an 82. Right, it's at an 82. The last time that you were up at this area, you found resistance. The time before that you were just below, you found resistance, and so on and so forth, right? Let's actually put a line on this and just see how you've interacted with this area throughout your history, right? Something like this in this area here. Sometimes you go just above it, okay, and there are times where you do, but you don't get above the 90, do you? You get super close, but you just don't get above it. Okay. Well, you're in that area. It definitely seems to me throughout this thing's history, it seems like this is the area that you top off at. So if you go a little bit higher, that might be it. But you are definitely in the area that we could expect to see you starting to move back down. And again, whenever you move back down, we're looking at about 13.5 to 11.6 cents. Okay, sorry, 13.5 to $11.6. My bad. If not, you could hold the golden ratio. I suppose it's rather unlikely, but you're doing it now. I guess I don't know, man. Maybe you do move up. Maybe you have one last little hoorah up to this 20 cent area, and then you pull back, right? If you do, just so you know, if you do run up to about 20 cents, even $20, why do I say that? $20 to $22, you likely still will pull back to areas that are lower than the current price right now at $16.4. So if you do run up, you will stop in this area or at the base of this area and will fall back at the very least to the golden ratio, which is below the current price, if not likely to the zero point 0.5 or the 382 area, something in this area here, okay? I just want to see real quick, man. Low to high. 382 here. 236. You tipped it, bro. That's crazy. That is a bullish look. I mean, you bounce right off your 52. Maybe you do go up from here. Let's see. 1 hour time for, I don't know, man. You're looking rather tenacious, but this could be a little bull trap right here. Yeah, you're at your golden ratio. Let's see, 15-minute time frame. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to say you are moving down, but again, if you move up, you know the target areas, right? 20 to 22 cents might be where you go. I would expect you to find resistance right there at about 20 cents. And inevitably, you will move down to targets that are lower than even this price. So if you move up first and then down, whatever. But I think that you're going to move down instead. If you move up, I will say if you move up first, you have a higher probability of finding support at areas that are at higher prices, right? From a high to a low here. Come on now. That was not the low. Right now I'm expecting 13.5 to 11.6 cents, but if you move up to this area, it might just be 13.5 to 15.8 cents that you find support at, right? It can move up a little bit in support. Of course, if you move up and then you still go all the way down to 11.6 cents, it's fine. These 886 to 382 rejection supports, they've been happening a lot this cycle, so just be aware of that. But it is completely possible still. But in my opinion, right now, this is more likely to happen somewhere in this zone. If you move up, it would be more likely that we find support somewhere in this zone, if that makes sense. But anything and everything in this area is free game always for support. It definitely can, find support in these areas. If we're looking at the 1 hour time frame, 1 hour RSI bouncing right off the oversold zone, we love to see that. That's some good looks. Anytime you've been down here, you've just repulsed the oversold zone immediately and continued with your strides going higher. So that definitely does make an argument that you could go higher. But again, of course, looking at the 15-minute time frame here, you're rejecting the overbought zone. You do have lower highs here. You finish with some bearish divergence, and this move up, while there was a decent amount of volume coming in, it is just lower levels of volume as you're building down. This could just be a lower high, and I think it is. It really does look like a bull trap to me. High to low, up to your golden ratio here. It's a nice area to sell. It's like a second chance to sell if you miss the top because you sold off rather quickly. But and not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If you move up here, if you sell right now and then it moves up, don't hate me. I am expecting it to move down, but I can be wrong. I've been wrong before. I've been wrong. I'll be wrong again. But I think my expectations of the short term are clear, right? Let's talk about this thing. Let's zoom out and look at the long term a little bit right now. Okay, so overall, right, you had this very long accumulation phase here from April 2022 to about October 2023. Then you started to rally. You had a very nice rally actually from a relative low here to a relative high. That was an overall like 11x, almost a 12x move there. That's phenomenal. And ever since here in December of 2023, you have been consolidating very, very meticulously throughout this range, but consolidating nonetheless, right? You're starting to see some life here. This move already seems more ferocious than anything we've seen since this move over here, right? It seems it's more on par with this. I don't think that you're just going to continue going up nonstop. I mean, maybe on a weekly basis you could. On a daily basis, if you pull back, you'll get some of these candles that are wicking and stuff like that. I suppose if the weeks are closing high, as long as you're doing these pullbacks intra week, you wouldn't even see them on a weekly basis. So yeah, maybe it is possible. You do just keep moving up from here. I shouldn't say it's not possible. I think you really could. You could be in a move that takes you up, just like this, and to prices that are above this. In fact, that's kind of what I'm expecting from a high to a low. It might be this tenacious. It might be this overall bullish of a move. It might take longer, but I am assuming that you're on your way right now to prices that are at $82 to $100, and I think you'll see these targets, if not by the end of March, sometime in April, and that's at about a 5 to about a 6.5x. Of course, you could go higher, but $100, I would think that's significant resistance. You're at the base of this kind of consolidation that you've been in for a very long time. I feel like that's a very powerful move enough, right? Like you don't need to. You can move higher than that, but that's already asking for a lot. I feel like to go to 82 to $108, you're at $16 now. And the reason why I feel like it's a lot, I don't have a problem calling for a 6x or a 5x, right? I can call for a 10x. I don't have a problem with that. But the reason why I have a problem with calling for numbers higher than this is that from the low, that already is a 15x. You know what I mean? So even though from this current price, that's only a 6.5x. You're looking at already a 15.5x there. So anytime you get above a 10x, I feel like we start to get a little bit less likely and likely. But we have seen some 20x's happen with some calls that we've made over the past couple months. $161 is possible, I suppose, right? 1618 maybe. But at the 1618 there, you could get 161 maybe 8. But more likely, I think I see $100 being psychological resistance. This move here, just going up to this area, it seems very comparable to what we saw back here, right? Like it's actually quite literally the same thing. So I'm going to stick with that. I think we're moving up to about $82 to $110. That's my expectation over the coming probably 6 to 7 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks maybe. It could happen faster. It could take longer. Certainly, I would expect at a minimum, though, we're at about 82.70 whenever it's all said and done. Bouncing right off of the oversold zone. Didn't even get oversold. Getting overbought, not getting oversold. We love to see that. Overall, I like the weekly RSI. I think it's bullish. 3-day time frame, reaching for the skies, but you are at an area on the 3-day time frame where you find resistance, and this is the last 7.5 hours of this 3-day time frame. So it to me makes sense that not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if these targets sound good to you here, right, at the current price, if it sounds good to you that a potential 4, almost a 5x is possible, maybe a 6.6x is possible, we can change those targets into something that's more like, if you pull all the way back to $11, like I think you might, if not 11, it would be 13 something, right? 13, it was like 1360 was the minimum. We'll just put it at 1390. That 6.5x turns into about a 7.9x, almost an 8x. That near 5x turns into a near 6x, basically a 6x there. So your targets do adjust a little bit higher. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, just saying if you wait, you will see better buying opportunity. Not that you will see, I think you will see, I should say. And again, those targets, those buying opportunities, I would expect come in the form of something that's probably actually around like just below $13, $12.74 to maybe something that's around $10.20. I don't think you go to $10.20. I think you hold $11.40 to $13 somewhere in that zone. Okay, if not, you might just go higher from here, 20 to 22 cents, and then find resistance and pull back. And at which case, instead of looking to find support here or here in this zone, maybe find it in this zone. Either way, it's still lower than the current price is right now. So I think patience is the right answer if you're looking to get into auctions. So I've got nothing else for you guys. If you liked the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I appreciate you all for being here very much. I'm going to look at this little linear regression indicator here. Yeah, you got a reversion there. The last time you had a reversion, it was very insignificant. This one was more significant. That one's still insignificant. So these have been pretty accurate, and you just started it here. I'm sure you will continue to go down. Yes, yes. 1 hour time frame too, probably. Yeah, it's got double reversion there. That level, it's pretty common to interact with these invalidation levels, and as soon as you hit them, that's whenever you move up. So they're not like invalidation levels, but sometimes they are. Sometimes they are, but look, like, see, right, you're holding resistance here, hitting that invalidation level as resistance instead of invalidation. But I feel like that's kind of the purpose of it, right? Makes sense that you would find support here where you found prior areas of support and resistance back here. So something around that's at like 12.8 cents. We were saying 13 cents, just below 13 cents makes sense, right? Even lower than that makes sense. It would make sense that if you found support here, you'd bounce off of it, right? Or if you broke through it, that you'd go likely lower to about that 1140 area, right? If you invalidate your invalidation level there. So either of those possibilities, again, finding support just below 13 cents or going below, sorry, $13. I don't know why I keep saying 13 cents, man. $13. If not going below $12 and staying above $11 would be a very acceptable outcome possibility here. Look at the 4 hour. Yeah, I think you're moving lower. I'm going to stick with that. Overall, moving up, yes, but on the day-to-day, hour-to-hour stuff. Week-to-week, moving up. Day-to-day, moving down. Maybe not even day-to-day, but hour-to-hour, moving down. I would think day-to-day, you're moving up too. I got nothing else for you guys. I'm just rambling at this point. Take it easy. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Bye-bye.